Mike, turn your mic on. You're on mute.
Am I on mute now?
Not now.
Oh, hey, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. It's Morning Talk with Mike. We're going to do this all over again. It is June 27th. It is Friday. I have pinned the link at the top that Paul found. He was down there waving his arms and doing all this, and I forgot I had it muted.
That's why I came on so quick.
Yeah, but hey, at least there's some kind of, what is he doing? But yeah, so I realized the other day that I was scrolling through pictures and I came across the picture on the thumbnail. And I said, whoa, wait a minute. So I looked into my portfolio. I have everything from the military, chronologically by date and everything like that. In case you applied for a job and they said, hey, can you back up what you're saying? And I can show them. So I was looking in there, and my first contract I ever signed with the Army was June 26, 1979. And I said, wow. So I was talking to Terrie about it. So I said, I'm going to throw that on the thumbnail rather than me going at this and pointing and doing all this other garbage. So I put it on there. So yeah, 46 years ago, I was 18 years old. That was taken second week in AIT, Advanced Individual Training. You take a group picture, I think halfway through boot camp of everybody that's in your company in boot camp. And I was in Echo 10, 10th Military Police Company for AIT, for boot camp and AIT at Fort McClellan, Alabama. So I said, man, I'm going to throw that up there since, boom. That's when I signed my contract, was yesterday, 46 years ago. Wow. Time flew. You're a young man, now you're an old man. And it's just like life just buzzed right by. But I want to thank everybody for coming in. We have our friends over in Philippines, Turkey, India, England are all here.
Mr. You've got friends in England?
What's that?
You've got friends in England?
I have a couple. I would say that I have very good acquaintances with people over in England, but mostly a bunch of fishing channels, because I really like the fishing channels over there and all the sea fishing that they do in the pond. And I like it in the fact that for some reason in the States, size matters. And you go over to England and you watch the channels, and it's the sport of fishing that people really enjoy over there. But then you do get some people that fish the sea, coastline and stuff like that, and they're going after certain breeds of fish and stuff like that. But there's one channel, I can't remember off the top of my head, but he goes to these remote sites in England along the coast and fishes. I seen him climb a rock face just to get to a little ledge so he could cast out in this one point to catch fish and stuff. But England is a beautiful, beautiful country. It's got its countryside. I will say the countryside. A lot of history in the cities, but the countryside is just immaculate. And the people in England take so much pride on how their farm looks, how their houses, if they have a little lawn or a big lawn, it's just they take care of what they've got. They've learned it, and we can learn a lot of lessons on the beautification of small towns, big towns. I watched the guy cutting the edge of the grass they come through. The county comes through with these big mowers on the back of tractors, and they got the wing sides and everything, and they mow the sides of the grass on the sides of the road for the mere fact that as a driver, when the grass gets really high, you can't see the deer. What they do is they cut it so you can actually see the deer on the side of the roads and stuff. But anyway, the pen's up at the top. Please come join Paul and I for this morning. Pretty busy night last night. We have 3 grandchildren spending the night.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah, and we didn't have no kid food in the house because Terri's feeding me all this freaking keto crap. Kids don't like that stuff. So Grandma picked them up, drove all the way to town, got chips, and snacks, and cookies. And I got an echo on your end.
On my end.
Yeah. Cookies. Then she stopped by KFC, picked up regular chicken, picked up another kid wanted chicken tenders. So, yeah, we didn't have no kid food in the house. And I'm kind of liking it because I snacked on their Doritos this morning. Hey, there's Wendy. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Wendy.
Oh, I like
Hey, I enjoyed your live on Wednesday.
Thank you.
A lot of information from Connie.
I'm telling you.
She's knee deep in that stuff. So yeah. And she's looking after the people, the residents, the farmers, the country life and stuff like that. So I really like Connie. I was happy to meet her at 10 Killer, of course, along with you, handing out the peach saplings and stuff like that. Terri's turned black.
Oh.
And
no.
But she is she changed out the dirt and everything, and our son in Missouri, his wife worked at, I got an echo.
Uh-oh.
Somebody has an echo.
Is that any better?
It ain't me.
I'm saying,
Is
right,
that better?
I'm trying something like,
Do you have another tab open?
I
I wouldn't dare.
Shut it off. The only thing I have going is the one I'm on.
is that any better?
I don't know.
It's off.
Yeah, it's better now.
Yeah, it was me. I was trying to adjust my audio.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's and I do have the link down there. We have made a decision. We are going to have the 2026 Mid-America at Lake Texoma State Park in Oklahoma at the Joe and Floyd campgrounds. We have got our space rented already. We got the one we wanted. We're in 423, which is right next to the big pavilion. So we already reserved that, paid for it. And it was kind of cheap because it was $88 with, the tax and all that stuff. And with the senior discount I got, they do have on there a veteran discount,
Awesome.
a disabled person's discount,
Wow.
and a senior discount at 62. So I took advantage. Terry couldn't take advantage, so I had to make the reservation. We have to do a person. I'm going to have to call them because to rent the pavilion, that gigantic pavilion in the video, you can't do it online like the other state parks. I don't know why, but we're going to give them a call probably today and make a reservation and pay for that. We did get donations, and I thank those people that donated. And one of them actually said, "Hey, I want to pay for one of the days for the pavilion."
Oh,
Um,
wow.
and so that's $160 per day. It's 75 at the other ones, but this is like a mega pavilion. Plus, you get a freezer and a refrigerator and all that stuff because running back and forth to trailers and doing all that was really a pain in the booyak yak, whatever that
Yeah.
David says. But we're going to do that. So I thank them for their sponsorship of the Mid America. And
Wow.
if you want
That's
to get your
awesome.
reservations, you can reserve your spot today. They let you do it 11 months out. And the only thing I have to do is fill out a form because it's a group bigger than whatever they said. And we told them, our max would probably be 150 to 300 people or whatever. So we passed their minimum group. Now we're in a large group. And that park, I mean, that park at Texoma gets booked fast. And so when we heard that from them and they showed us the stats, I said, man, I got to get this out there because if you want a spot, pay for it now. And then over time, you can recoup from paying it. And it was like $88 for us. Normally it would be $93 for 3 days for an RV, full hookup, electric, sewer, water, all that stuff. So, and then the hotels around there, it is a week before their main season, which is Memorial Day weekend. We're going to be the weekend before that. Again, if you're going to stay at a hotel, start searching for Airbnbs. They're all over the place down there. In fact, Daniel Arms from Arms Family Homestead has an Airbnb on Lake Texoma that the family goes down, and when they're not there, they rent it out and stuff like that.
Cool.
But it's huge. In fact, they converted the garage into a bunkhouse, so you can sleep all kinds of people in there, plus the 2 or 3 bedrooms that they have, and all that stuff. Plus, they added on a larger garage that they can store their boats in when they're not down in Texoma, so they don't have to haul it back and forth. Go check out Arms Family Homestead for all the goings on down there, their Airbnb and all that stuff. Guys, it has been crazy. The DOD, if you haven't noticed, the DOD, Department of Defense, has been really active lately. But one of the things that they did was to get rid of wokeness, DEI, all that stuff. And they've been doing a great job, and people have been flooding into the military. And that was a big thing when they're doing polls. Yeah, I didn't want to come in here with all that crap going on. And prior service people are wanting to come back in because all that garbage is gone. And they're promoting on merit rather than DEI standards. So they weren't promoting the very best. They were just trying to get all those ethnic groups involved. And that's what they were doing. They when they do a board for a promotion, they say, okay, here's the best qualified people. Let's say there's 100 people. Boom, there's 100 people. Then it goes to the lawyers. Then it goes to equal opportunity. And they're the ones who check, okay, we need to put 4 more Hispanics on there. We need to put, 6 or 7 African Americans on there, Island Pacific people on there, and blah, blah, blah. So if you made the first 100 list, your name's not secure because when they put it in, everybody below those names start moving down. And if they only got 100 promotion slots, you've just fallen off the list as the best qualified. So they got rid of all that crap. Hey, if
So you
you're
mean I? So
Huh?
you mean I? So you mean now that I wanted to join the American Army, I can no longer go in as Captain Steve Rogers?
No, no, no. You'd be private.
I was
So,
I was never a private in the army. I was a driver.
oh, okay. So what they've done is the Biden administration spent millions of dollars changing the names of Army bases. They changed 7. They had a panel of admirals and generals and all kinds of stuff on this board. And they said, hey, these are the 7 bases that have a connection with Confederate generals. And they changed all their names. So
Sad.
since, and like Lincoln said, when he signed the Emancipation Proclamation, part of his signing letters and stuff like he did, that everybody, North and South, were recognized as veterans. Okay. And all those generals went to West Point. They're West Point graduates. They just so happened to live in that part of the country where when the war started out. And you've heard the stories about cousins fighting cousins, brothers fighting brothers, and on and on and on. So they changed the names. So now the DOD is saying, hey, with the wokeness, all this garbage is going away. So Fort Bragg was the first thing that they changed from Fort Liberty. Okay, they found a neutral word that hopefully would make all the special forces, the airborne, all that stuff happy. So they called it Camp Liberty. So they found a private brag that won, some high medals during war conflicts and stuff. So they changed it, but they memorialized it under his name, and they changed it back to Fort Bragg, okay, to appease all the, I guess, woke people. I wouldn't have. And they've done that, and they did it at Fort Benning. They're getting ready to do, they just took all the names down off Fort Polk, Louisiana, which was called Fort Johnson. They're changing it back to Fort Polk, Louisiana, after the Confederate General Polk and whatever. So up at Fort Lee, Virginia, this is the new one. Fort Lee, Virginia was named after Robert E. Lee. Okay. And the Lee mansions there in the DC area and all that stuff. So they changed it to Fort Gregg Adams. Okay. The Defense Department announced on June 10th that the Prince George County military installation will once again be called Fort Lee, 2 years after a change to Fort Gregg Adams in honor of 2 pioneering African-American officers, Lieutenant General Arthur J. Gregg and Lieutenant Colonel Charity Adams. Now, Charity Adams was like a postal officer or something like that during the war. As part of the Biden's renaming process of removing the names of Confederate Civil War heroes. Only this time, the original honoree, Robert E. Lee, will not be memorialized. Instead, the post will be named after Army Private Fitz Lee, a Dinwiddie County native and part of the Army's Buffalo Soldier Division of Soldiers of Color. Lee received the Medal of Honor for bravery in the Spanish-American War when he risked his life with enemy fire and saved wounded comrades in Cuba. If you remember, the whole San Juan Hill, Teddy Roosevelt, all that stuff, that was back that time. He was part of a black unit notarized as the Buffalo Soldiers. So, they're renaming it back to Fort Lee. They found a hero to name it after, and the DOD is keeping their word. A promise made is a promise kept, and that's what they're doing for our military. So congratulations, Fort Lee, Virginia, for being renamed back to Fort Lee. All right. So
now what they need to do is find out all those protesters that were protesting and causing trouble and go out and kick the shit out of them.
Well, come on over and do it, Paul.
it's kind of weird that the protesting, they're still doing it, but they're not. I hear it again.
There's that echo. I don't
hear an echo.
Oh, I think it's you, Paul. You're screwing up the whole show.
All right, throw. I'm going to have to get a longer lead from my speakers.
You don't hear a lot about it on the news. I mean, it's like a minor thing now. We already know who was funding the bad side of the protest, okay? Meaning the people, just like when the BLM riots and stuff like that, people were paid to cause trouble, if you will, and take something peaceful into something everybody's getting their head bashed in and tear gas is being fired. All that stuff is going on. But you don't hear about it a lot. But what we just heard about was over 100 Iranian nationals across the U.S. Have been gathered up. Okay. They're illegally in the United States. And I think it was like 130 Iranians have been rounded up, to include one Iranian that had a deportation order, and he escaped custody and he went to Canada, but then he came back and they found him. So they're deporting all them Iranians that came here undocumented. And now the number is up to 130, according to Immigration and Customs Enforcement. They found them throughout the United States in the last week, and 670 Iranian nationals are in ICE detention centers right now. But just in the last week, they found 130 more. As the Trump administration continues to increase arrests on Iranian nationals in the country illegally amid security concerns. Hey, what a great time to start your planning way back when, get as many people in the United States, and then when they're called upon, they can cause havoc, destruction, and death here in the United States. So, hey, good for you there, ICE and Immigration Services. Those guys are hard at work, and I can't understand why, if you look back to Clinton, Bush, Obama, and you listen to their statements, they're talking and saying, Obama, he gave a big old speech. If you come here illegally, they called him the deporter in chief, but nobody protested Obama. Because Republicans don't do that crap. We say it, but we don't go out and burn down cities because of it. But the Democrats will. And I don't understand that. And I don't understand how people could vote for that. Right. You know what I mean? It's just crazy.
It is.
Yeah. So I'm just sick and tired of these childish adult games that they're playing with us in Washington.
Tax money.
Yeah. So, hey, one thing we didn't finish saying hello to everybody. There's Merge Pacquiao. There's RD Channel. Welcome in. I should have done this earlier, but I get on a rant. I just go.
You should have done this earlier, but forgot to unmute the mic.
Yeah, I did. Hey, Annie. There's Abby G. There's Charmaine. Yin, how are you doing? Girly Senna, hello. Almira's here, or she was here. Leela and Layla's vlogs was in here. Shane Raza, Jolynn, welcome in. There's Rona, Ariana. There's Anna. There's Journey Smiles. Amir, she's from Turkey. Let's see, Crystal's Adventure. There's Chaith from India. There's Teresa's TV. Oh, let's go down here. I said Crystal's Adventure. And we got, there's Tamara at Heartland Headquarters with Dink and Tank. Welcome
Don't
in.
you dare forget Ginger. Ginger Snaps is here.
Yep, there's Rebecca, Touched by Yarn.
Fix it for you.
There's Lazy Days Ahead. There's Jesse,
Jesse,
my good buddy. I don't know why Jesse doesn't come up on panel. He's got a lot to say.
He's too busy putting all the channels up.
I know, he's doing a great job. And I thank you. There's Sir Paul Honeyman.
he does it like this.
I know.
He's
I think
That's why when Jesse's here, I don't.
Built save pages, and he can just get in there and he saves
That's why when Jesse's here, I don't need to.
Right? Right.
All right, there is Hardneck Farm. Wendy, of course, is here. There's Tree Haven. I was watching his video this morning. Welcome in, Jess. Jennifer Ocean Homestead, welcome in. Again, there's Merge Pacquiao coming back in. Carolyn Messer, welcome in. Lone Cross Scotty,
her spot.
how you doing?
The lake.
What's that?
Carolyn, I saw her post that she reserved her spot for the meetup.
Oh, all right. There's Joe Fix It For You. O'Rourke's Littlefield. Shane Raza, welcome in.
I know what you do need to do, though, Mike.
What's that?
You need to swap your presidents around when you're going off on a rant. Always put Bush first. Because the last thing you want to hear is Clinton's Bush.
There's Bo's RV Life. Welcome in.
You're so funny.
He was our featured channel on Wednesday night. Please go over there and support Bo's RV Life. Great information. Great information.
Yeah, I missed most of it. I started your live and Connie was getting ready to leave. And Tom said, you better go empty the freezer. It's leaking all over the garage. And I went, great. So I spent the night trying to clean all that up. So I missed the rest of your live. Always something.
Hey, there is Viking Gaming. Hey, how are you doing? I think he's down in the New Zealand area. I'm not sure.
Oh, wow.
I think he's down in New Zealand.
It's a pity Kevin wasn't driving, Jamie. He could have just run him over.
I'm going to get to those comments. Hey, Shirley De La Cruz, how you doing? And there's Eligio De La Cruz. They're both in here. Welcome in.
Oh, it's hot here today.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. I've got fans on. I've got the windows open.
Wow.
Jennifer, you weren't born before 1979? She goes, I wasn't even born then when I took that picture. I think that's what she's talking about. Let me see. I'm still scrolling. Everybody's talking to each other. In some countries, you see railroads that are right outside the door. I could never live like that. Yeah. One of the things that we do when we bought places, this is like our third home, Terry and I, and well, this is Terry and I's second home, but I've bought in 4 homes in my lifetime. And one of the things is it can't be next to a highway, and it can't be next to a railroad track. I will not have
Yeah.
that. I don't care if I'm in the country. I am not living next to a train track.
No.
I do.
Your house will vibrate.
Well, yeah. Hey, Mary
And if they
Yahoo's
have
in
a
here.
derailment, you're in trouble.
Good
I live
morning.
right next. I can literally walk out my door, turn right, and walk 15 feet, and there's a train track.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All you
Hey,
need is
Make Brad
good
run
double
all.
glazing.
Welcome in.
Yeah, Mike.
There's Minnie
Connie's,
Cactus. Go ahead.
she wasn't able to come to the Mid America. She was so sad. She wanted to come so bad, but she went to the first meeting for the campaign for our Jake, who's running for governor.
Okay.
And so she feels very strongly about him getting in to make
Sure.
a difference. Because I think a lot of people are starting to be enlightened as to what's going on, and they're like tired of all the garbage. And
Yeah.
so she was at his meeting, and she was at the
He's a
Capitol again
Republican,
all day
right?
yesterday. Huh?
He's a Republican.
Yes.
Yeah, because if you try to run in this state,
As a Democrat, a Democrat.
yeah, yeah. When we're the only state in the November election where every single county went red. No other state where every single county was red. And if you try to come in here and spread a bunch of liberal garbage, you are not going to last in this state, period. Now, I think that we do have Democrats in the House and the Senate, but those are from like Oklahoma City, those are from Tulsa and stuff like that. But for the majority, the Republicans run this state. I mean, they are deep red, hooks in the ground. And Oklahomans, everybody talks about, but Texas is becoming, those cities are becoming California cities.
Yeah.
They're California in Texas, but
Yeah.
you're not going to do it here. Because if you want to live in a red state where, minimal BS, I mean, there's certain things that get passed and you scratch your head and you're going, what? People bring it up. And people, when you go on the campaign trail, I was watching it, people in Oklahoma will threaten you. Listen, you are screwing up by the numbers. Okay. And they go, oh. And don't think that they won't do a petition and throw you out of office. Okay. All they need is 100,000 signatures to get it on the ballot and have a vote to have your rear end thrown out. They know how it works in Oklahoma. Okay.
Well, there's
But
this thing
Texas
called
used to be redder than red, and now it's like, whew, those people are moving in. Businesses are moving in because Texas gives you such a break. And with that comes everything that comes with those big companies as they move out of California and they move into Texas. And look at SpaceX. He moved everything. Now he's moving the Tesla, Tesla out of California. I mean, he's getting there. California is going to be hurting. And Arizona's the same way. It is so balanced now when it used to be redder than red. And now everybody said, man, I want to pay the taxes. I don't like how they're running government in California. Then they come into another state and they want to bring that same crap with them.
Doesn't make sense.
It's kind of like illegals coming into the United States but then they wave their country flag, the
Right.
one they escaped from, and I don't get it. You would think, hey, I want to get away from people who are oppressing me, or there's too much violence, or the government's not fair. And then they come into the United States and they don't want to assimilate and be part of the country. Rather, they want to bring their crazy views that they ran from into the United States. And I don't get it.
I don't either.
It befuddles me. Ooh, there's a word. I haven't used that in a long time. But it's crazy.
That's because it was around when you were a kid.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you something. When I was a kid, I knew every person on my street. I knew everybody.
It's not.
You knew who not to piss off.
I've been into every house. Okay. I knew the old man that lived by himself that made fishing lures. Everybody thought he was poor, but he made custom lures and sold them to all these bass and fishing places. And he would, when he died, I mean, he was worth millions, but he lived very humbly. He was over there. He'd come over. He goes, I'd say, hey, Mr. Hubbard, I lost 3 lures. And he would say, oh, let's stock that back up. We'd go in and shop, and it was like millions of lures he's made, fishing lures. And he would replace them. He goes, make sure here's remember the old Kodak cameras in the little paper box? And he'd give me one of those. He goes, bring me some pictures back. And come to find out, he's a millionaire. Oh, but what a humble guy. I mean, I knew everybody. I couldn't tell you the name of anybody that lives in my little hamlet, village. There's no law out here. It's the county sheriff, and they come out only when they have to. And there's like 35, maybe 40 people that live in Ardo, and I couldn't tell you the name of any of them. I do know Gary, but he doesn't live here, but he owns the land next to me, and he has his cows running on it. I couldn't tell you. People don't do that anymore. You know what I mean?
Isn't Gary the one that's given you
out here?
What's that?
We have a little country nook out here. Like, I know a chunk of our neighbors. We had a couple move in that are, excuse my language, batshit crazy, and we stay away from them.
Well, yeah, you got to keep your enemies even closer.
Or
people who might come into your house.
like me?
They better not. No, the sheriff trespassed them off of our property, and they're not allowed over here. But the rest of the neighbors are great. Like, we have a community. We watch out for each other, and it's nice. It's really nice.
O'Rourke's Littlefield said, I stayed in a flea bag in Durant. It had mold rags. I think Jesse stayed in Durant. He stayed at the La Quinta. And yeah, I mean, when you choose hotels, and especially in small towns, you're not going to get that 5-star service. It's kind of like, yeah, you can stay at the Super 8 and it's relatively cheap compared to all the other ones, but you get what you paid for.
Right.
It's like, it could cost you $128 in Durant to stay at a hotel per night, or you come down to Kingston, where the state park is. They have a casino, and it's $129 a night during the week, and it's $149 on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or Friday and Saturday. It's $149. But remember, where we have meetups and stuff, those places live off that lake, and that's why we do it in the off season, a week before the season starts on Memorial Day, to get those last discounts, if you will. Now the state park doesn't change it and stuff like that, but and I think that that casino actually has 5-bedroom cabins, and we went by there, and they're nice.
Wow.
It's called the West Bay Resort and Casino. We have it on our the information page on our Facebook page, all the information. And yeah, I mean, if you had 5 couples and you all split the cabin, I mean, you get a barbecue grill, you get all kinds of stuff, and, kitchens and everything. If you split it 5 ways and you're just like right down, and if you had too many spirits, you could just walk down the road to the cabins. That's how close it really is to the meetup site. But people want to do that because it's like $6.99 or $6 something a night, but you get everything. It's absolutely immaculate. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, they have a lot of fishing resorts, rooms, Airbnbs. So however you want to do it, you can do that. And they have all kinds of people. I think there's a place down there where you can rent an RV. I seen something that said rent, and they'll bring the RV out to wherever you want, set it up, and you can have that one. There's always ways. And if you want a tent camp, trust me, there's a lot of tent camping there. Where we didn't see that closeness over at Eisenhower State Park the way we got it now. So. Let's see. One other thing, and this mouse is about going to hit the wall here in a second. Did you hear Oklahoma, and there's several other states, that buying cannabis online is now legal?
Really?
You can buy pot online. Marijuana, Mary Jane, whatever, the green leafy, you can buy it online now. It's legal.
I'll see you next year.
For years, buying cannabis meant taking a trip to a dispensary or to your local dealer when I was a kid, right? They called them dealers back then. Now they just call them dispensaries, dealing with long lines, limited selections, and inconsistent pricing. But thanks to the changing law, an innovative online retailer called Mood, buying high quality THC is now 100% legal in many states, to include Oklahoma.
Oh, I'm sending mine to yours.
You're on the phone with Walmart and you're saying, hey, here's my shopping list. Shop for me, and I'll come and be in space number 3, and you can bring my groceries out to me because I'm lazy, okay? Or I don't like crowds. Or
Don't pick on Jesse.
Of COVID, or whatever reason, or I'm so busy, do my shopping for me. So now you can do it online the same way. You can go to the website, you can go, oh man, I wonder what, that green dragon is like, and this and that, whatever. And it gives you all the information and all the holistic things which each one's do. And you can make it, you can order it, and it gets, hey, who knew that they were going to have a thing called Uber Pot? Okay. Or what is that other thing? The DoorDash. and I seen an ad that says, hey, you can DoorDash from us. So, hey, who's bringing my pot to me? Hey, could you stop by Taco Bell and get me this, and that? Because I know I'm going to have the munchies afterwards. And you can do it from Uber Eats.
Wow. That's crazy.
And it's 100% legal.
Big Mike.
But Oklahoma will not. And they lost 66% against recreational marijuana. But now they've passed, hey, no recreational, but if you got a medical card, just do, lay back while you're sucking on your bong and order some more because you're getting low. You can do that in Oklahoma. So sooner or later, that recreational money is going to be here because the states are looking, they're going, wow, we can make $600 million in taxes.
They shouldn't tax on, they should not tax on all that stuff. It's just getting ridiculous.
I agree. But I'm just telling you, there's a lot. We lived in Colorado, and Colorado, there's no kid wanting for nothing in Colorado. You can be poor and you say, hey, I can't learn at home because we don't have internet. And guess what? Boom. The school district pays for it with pot money. Okay.
Wow.
Because the state tax all goes to the schools. All right. You don't see kids walking around with a backpack full of books, got a laptop in their back, and all their books are on the laptop. It's crazy. All these new schools being built, all these recreational centers in our little town we lived in West Pueblo. Now they've got this gigantic complex, like 150-acre complex for youth sports and all kinds of stuff. They're building it and they're doing it with pot money. And it's crazy. I venture to say you probably can't find a pothole in our county because county taxes go to road, bridges, and infrastructure. So you got to pay a state tax, you got to pay a state tax, a county tax, and a city tax. All right. And people are still buying it. I don't care. They tax them 300%, like Clinton did on cigarettes. They still bought them. So, and I say, hey, if it's benefiting the kids like that, who cares if your school, was built, with Cheech and Chong money? Who cares? I don't.
Big Mike.
It's going to happen, and you're going to see it one day federalized. Federalized?
Well, my thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Then there'll be a federal tax on it.
Oh gosh.
My thing would be, I
Don't give them any ideas. Shh.
If they tax alcohol, if they tax recreational marijuana, if they tax, stuff that's not necessary to life.
Yeah. This is my producer speaking.
Yeah. So
We know who's speaking.
If they don't tax all that, or if they do tax all that, then maybe they can reduce the tax or take the tax off our houses.
Yeah, property
we've
tax.
already paid for.
But Lord knows that a government is not going to get rid of, not most, Florida's doing it. Florida's getting rid of their property tax for people who actually live in the state. You may own a house, but you don't live there. Okay? You don't live there. And now they're trying to do it where if you're a resident of Florida, there won't be no property tax because they make enough in tourism and all that stuff that they don't need the property tax. And it helps the people. Now, if you're making, let's say Oklahoma passes a law and they said recreational marijuana, and we're going to tax that thing 4.3% or whatever it is. Now, every time you buy your little bag of marijuana, the state gets their cut. Okay. And then your county gets their cut. And you might live in Tulsa, and Tulsa City says, hey, we want some of that green stuff. And we're not talking about pot. We're talking about dead presidents. Okay. Everybody's going to want theirs. So let's say you make $600 million, like I said earlier, because that was the first year haul that I remember when they passed recreational marijuana in Colorado. The state made $600 million. But you think they'd drop the property tax? Heck no. They want all the money they can get because these guys at the state they've got big 6-figure salaries and stuff like that. That's why people want government jobs, because the pay scale is so much higher than outside the government, and people don't realize that. Now, there are some low-paying jobs and stuff like that, but for the majority, if you make it a career, you're up on this plateau making a good paycheck. But why wouldn't they say, because number one, I want to punch the guy in the nose that came up with the idea, said, hey, you know what? We need some more money. Let's tax everybody on their houses and property that they've already bought. And if they don't pay it, we can take their stuff and we can sell it and make more money. I want to know what politician those were, because they need to get punched in the nose. Okay, because that was idiotic. That's not taking care of anybody. But if you're bringing in enough revenue to get rid of property tax, and Trump's already talked about this. Trump's saying, man, the first month or two, they made $77 billion on tariffs. Holy crap. And let's say when it goes into full effect, let's say you're making a crap load of money. You're making $1 trillion or more. Why not give your people some relief, like he said? Lower the federal tax, or get rid of the federal tax and live off, like all the other countries, off your tariff money.
Yeah.
People are going to protest against everything. If Trump said the sky is blue today, they would try to get an injunction from a judge to prove that it is gray and it ain't blue. I mean, that's how stupid it's getting.
Yeah.
Okay. If he's helping the people and keeping the promises, which he has been doing, why is there so much fight? Why are there so many court injunctions? And I think that the Democrats really think that if we keep doing that, people won't forget us because things are going so well. They're getting better. Okay. I don't get it. I do not get it. Why they're falling on a sword under some stupid conditions. Every Democrat president before was against illegal immigration, and they were throwing them out by the hundreds of thousands, and nobody said nothing. But when Trump goes in there, I mean, look, George Bush, he didn't get it. And he threw out a bunch of people. So I'm like going, but as soon as Trump does it, now remember, Trump was a lifetime Democrat. Okay, he was.
Till he woke up.
He was everybody's friend. He was Oprah's friend. He was everybody's friend. Then he said, you know what? Y'all are stupid. And he changed his party and ran for president. And now he is target number one.
Right.
Okay. Being part of it. I mean, that's kind of like you're a biker and you step away from your bike club. That's what it looks like to me, Now you're 8-balled and you're a target because you left. And I just don't get it. And maybe somebody in the chat can tell me, hey, Midnight Vlogs, there's Molly, Pest Hunter's best catch. She's in here.
Well, Mike, there are
the
some
bug file.
legislators in Oklahoma trying to work on ending property tax.
Yeah.
They really are, because I don't know what's going on in your county, but in my county, The county assessor has been out here 6 or 7 times in the last year and a half and started measuring the well house, the chicken coop, everything portable, the fences. And the governor's office is getting bombarded, and she's got felons working in her office, and
That's crazy.
the job's weaponized. She's just running amok here, and people are getting pissed, and it's hurting people.
Oh yeah.
I mean, so my husband and I went through a wildfire back in 2014. A big chunk of the farm burned. So we've been rebuilding out of pocket. We didn't file an insurance claim. We've been rebuilding out of pocket with our own money. And it's taken a long time. We did a lot of portable structures because we were told those things would not be taxed. Like I had commercial greenhouses in the back, and the guy come out to tax me on them because they were cemented into the ground. And anything that's cemented into the ground is taxable because it has a cement foundation. So we took those out and we sold them because I said, taxing me on my groceries is just ludicrous. They're going to go. Yeah. So he built me 2 portable greenhouses so that we wouldn't be taxed. And now they're coming out here to tax me on them and the sheds, everything. Yeah. We're also a farm. We're tax exempt. We're just going through hell out here. I don't know what you all are doing in your county. Are you going through that?
No, they're doing the same thing here. Doing the exact same thing here.
They only came out once.
Jesse, you would never leave Texas.
Now they did, and I don't know how they're getting away with this. So when we bought our property, it was assessed at a certain amount. And then when the appraiser came out, somehow that certain amount was matched by the appraiser. And then we've lived here 5 years come October, and already our house has increased in value under taxes by $179,000 or $80,000.
Jeez.
And we haven't done one damn improvement.
Oh,
except
Lord.
We built chicken pens and rabbit pens and all that stuff. But other than that, structure-wise, nothing's changed.
I know. It's criminal. It's criminal.
Yeah, tax-wise, it should have decreased, but it's exactly. Increased. Yeah. The market, and they said, hey, the taxable amount. So the county just goes, hey, you know what? On the type of house, they just crank it up. And now, when you're used to, we had to change our allotment to pay the mortgage because it went up. You know, from $1,800 a month or whatever, now it's over $2,000 or something. I mean, not a month,
and yet
a year.
You're retired and you're a disabled veteran, and they're going to do that to you. That's crap.
Yeah.
No, it's not okay. That's what Connie is.
Now, if I was 100%, they couldn't.
You're what?
If you're 100%, they wouldn't tax me.
Don't be saying that, Mike.
I'm only 90%, so I still get taxed. But if I ever became 100%, then I would have to file, register with the state, so they couldn't tax me on 100% because that's state law.
Don't be putting ideas in Terrie's head.
Well, it's got to be service connected. So my service ended a while back.
Yeah. I think Mike's safe with Terrie.
Yeah. Hey, there's Loose Screw. Hey, Kim, how are you doing?
Kim. Oh my gosh, I like her.
Oh,
I like her as well. She's got a screw loose.
Oh no, she doesn't. She's got all her.
Paul likes women with loose screws.
No, Kim is.
And you're not wrong.
And loose scruples.
No,
they've got good scruples, just loose screws.
Okay. Hey, there's Ginger Snap.
Ginger.
Finally got down to her. There's
You better be looking out.
storyteller.
You better be looking out for Joey if you've got down to Ginger.
Yeah, I seen Joey earlier.
Joey was in here earlier. So, Mike, I have a prayer request.
Sure.
I had a phone call. So I was adopted, and I have met my birth mother back in the early 90s, and she was married to a veteran, and they had 5 kids together. They live in Salina, Kansas, and her husband has schizophrenia, PTSD. He had been going to the veterans, wasn't getting any care, was really fighting the system. And yesterday he took his life at the hospital.
Oh,
He pulled out a gun and shot himself. And so it would be my stepdad, and the family is just torn up. It's just sad what veterans go through, that they feel like there's no way out, that just to end it,
Yeah.
you know? And it happens so much.
yeah.
It just happens way too much.
Mm.
But I got the phone call last night, and my sister was on the phone with me for a long time. So the family needs a lot of prayer.
Yeah.
Sorry, my phone's ringing and I couldn't figure out how
There's
to.
Lucy Warren. How you doing, Lucy?
Oh, I haven't seen her in a long time. Hello.
Yeah. There's Miss Arlene. Hello to you.
Arlene.
Christy
Good morning.
Betts.
Christy Betts. I can't
We
see the
watch
chat since
YouTube.
I turned off.
We watch YouTube. I like them. They're our egg buddies. We give them eggs.
Aw.
Hey, and here's something I want everybody to know. And boom, it just hit me. I went to Atwood's. It's our local farm and ranch.
Mm-hmm. Oh, nice.
And they got a new manager. Okay. He came down from Chakotah. And he came down and they said, we need you to turn this store around like you did the one in Chakotah. So he came down. Anyway, I went there and I was going to buy a 2-wheeled wheelbarrow. Okay. And they're all gone. I told Terry, I said, I want that wheelbarrow. And I came back the next day and it was sold. So all of a sudden this guy, he's bringing out these little rotor tillers for your garden and stuff. And I said, hey, do you guys got any more of these wheelbarrows? And we're sitting there talking and he's going, do I know you? I said, I don't know. He goes, yeah, I used to be up at Chakotah, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So then he said, we have some in the back, but we have to assemble them. If you can give us 30 minutes, well, 30 minutes turned into an hour, but that's okay. I got my wheelbarrow and we're sitting there talking. He's going, and he looked at my shirt and he's going, you have a YouTube channel. And I was wearing a empty Homestead shirt yesterday. And I said, yeah. He goes, I think we watch your channel.
Oh, my word. That's awesome.
And I'm going, really? Gets on the phone. Hey, what's the guy's name on MT Home? She goes, oh, that's Big Mike. He goes, yeah, Big Mike, that's you, right? I said, well, yeah. I said, and she goes, wife on the phone, she goes, is Terry with him? She goes, I can't believe I'm not there.
Aw.
I said, no, she's at the house. So they get done doing their little talking stuff. And we're sitting there talking. And this guy comes out there and he says, hey, what do you want me to do with these 2 mowers and these 4 tillers? He goes, just take a sledgehammer to them and then throw them in the dumpster. I said, what? He goes, well, they're old models. That we found them back in the back and they were never sold. They're probably 2 or 3 years old. to what they call they'll
Out of date.
well
Out of stock.
what they'll do is it's called they'll spoil them off
Yeah.
their inventory, and they'll just put them down. Hey, it got damaged in shipping. They'll lie. They'll do whatever he's going to do or they're going to do. I know about spoilage when I ran the Army club systems and stuff like that. And so I said, what's wrong with them? He goes, probably nothing. He goes, they're just, and somebody, if we needed a breather cap, we took one off one because it fit the new one. And I said, well, gee, you can order those little things. And I said, well, don't throw them away. I said, I know people that could use a tiller or a push mower or whatever. They could probably make sure it runs. They could do whatever. He goes, do you want them? I said, yeah.
Nice.
And so I had my trailer because I went there to get the wheelbarrow. Plus I had to drop off my Gravely that I broke and my zero turn. And so they just came out and loaded up. I got 4 tillers. I know which one I'm keeping. But I got 3 tillers to give away, and I got 2 push mowers to give away. So
Wow.
if you're even partially smart and you can fix or make sure these, I don't even know. I haven't started them up. They've never had gas in them, nothing. I know there's one that the breather cap is missing, and the kid said, yeah, we took that off because in shipping one got cracked and we just took that one off. But you can go to the company and you can order a cover for it. And if you want a rotor tiller or a push mower, I've got 3 tillers and I've got 2 push
Wow.
mowers, and you just got to get a hold of me, MT Homestead, ok@gmail.com, and you can have them. Or if
I
you
know
know
a family.
that needs one and you want to pick one up for them, I don't care. I don't have
I know.
storage, but I wasn't going to let them take a sledgehammer to a perfectly good thing and throw it in the garbage can because it's out of date.
Right.
Or else I would have been thrown in the trash can years ago. Okay.
I think Con was looking
I know a
for it.
family that would welcome one of each.
Who's that?
They go by the name Junk to Gems.
Yeah. I don't care who gets them. They're free. And I said, you know what? I run a veterans channel. I run MT Homestead with Terrie. And Terrie's really the producer. She's the one that makes everything happen. If you want one, I got them. I'll give them to you. First come, first serve. I won't make no promises, but get a hold of us and we will private message you and give you the address, and you can come get one if you want.
Get it right, Big Mike. Terrie is everything except the muscle.
Well,
She's beautiful. She's got the brains,
yeah.
and she's got you for muscle.
No.
Well, she had you for muscle.
Yeah, there you go.
Now you're just falling apart.
I am falling apart. It's crazy. And I watch on the videos that I do. I walk totally different now because of the 2 new hips and all that stuff. And trying to get in and out of a vehicle is not the same where you just hop in. Can't just hop in. You got butt, rotate, legs up, in. You just can't do it like you used to do it. So anyway, they're there if anybody wants them. I'd be more than happy to bless somebody with that stuff. And like I said, I just could not see them throwing that stuff away. I said, if you got any more of this stuff, let me know. And I gave him my cell phone number. I said, let me know, and I will be down here with a trailer because there's some people out there that really need some help, and I'm willing to help people. No ifs, ands,
That's
or buts.
awesome.
So there you go. I'm going to get to the bottom of this stuff here.
Yeah, only by cheating.
Yeah, I got to cheat. Hey, Rainy Ridge, welcome in.
Hey, Tina.
We know you've got a cheat. How do you think you got Terry?
I
So I
did.
just texted my Aunt Peggy, and I believe they live in Kingston.
Oh, do they?
Yes, and my cousin is
Do you watch
actually a
YouTube?
sheriff somewhere around in there.
There you go. Stay at their house.
Well, I just texted her that I'd be in the area. That now we got to go through Tom. Now somebody's going to have to help me out. You're going to have to tell Tom that I have to come help you
Yeah.
because he will not let me go. No, I'm just kidding. I think the last 2 years I went to meetup, the storms chased me home, and he said, "You're not going to no more meetups." So
Hang on 1 second.
okay.
All right.
What's that?
Oh,
Rainy Ridge hit 3,000.
nice.
Congratulations, Eric and Tina.
Yes. Congratulations. They hit that on the 26th. Congratulations. That's a big old number.
That is.
Yeah.
It's about the size of my ass.
Oh, you're so funny.
I have to be.
Oh, yeah. There's our
are
friends.
so
We watch
funny.
YouTube. I know another couple who needs a push mower. They called me last week. Well, I've got 2 of them.
That's so awesome. See, you're getting to help
And
people
both
now.
mowers are made by the exact same company. They're both 21-inch cut and everything. And I don't know if one works. I don't know. You can have both the mowers and make one work. I don't know. They're just telling me that they can't keep them no more. They're clearing the place out. So you do what you do. If you know somebody that can fix mowers, then you've got a good push mower. Let's see. What does Rebecca say? Mike. That's how I get into my. Oh yeah, the twist. Yeah, that's it's crazy.
Don't worry, I've got to get in the same way.
Hey, Rebecca.
I'm catching you up, Big Mike.
Big.
I can get in. I just have
Congrats.
trouble getting out.
All right, so here's our last thing we're going to talk about. And I don't understand how people, number one, can do this. Number two, how people think they can get away with it. And do men get longer prison sentences than women? A married Florida math teacher, 32 years old, accused of classroom sex with students during lunchtime. A now 32-year-old Florida teacher is accused of having sex with her students in a classroom during the lunchtime period. Sarah Jacas, Jacas, is listed as a math teacher at Corner Lake Middle School, which is part of the Orange County Public Schools in Orlando metro area. She was arrested on Monday and faces a judge on. She faced a judge on Tuesday for her pretrial. On June 10th, a now 16-year-old boy told investigators he had multiple sexual experiences with this math teacher, Jacas, when he
What's he complaining for?
when he was 14 years old, according to the arrest warrant affidavit. The alleged sexual encounters were said to have taken place between December 2022 and April 2023. So bad luck to her in court, okay? I wouldn't even say good luck in court. But why is this still happening?
My question
I
is,
get it.
how are they getting
A perfect cover for a predator is becoming a teacher.
Yeah. It's sick.
But here's the thing. If you're a 14-year-old boy, 15-year-old boy, whatever, you know you can't shut your mouth. Okay? You know. And you have to be some kind of stupid to think, oh, don't tell nobody. This is our little secret. Are you kidding me? If a teacher would approach me like that and things would have happened, I'd have told the whole world.
I'd have sewed my mouth shut.
Oh my gosh.
Where were these teachers when I was a kid?
But
Oh
like
my gosh.
I always say, well, you know, if more than you know you committed a crime, you're gonna get caught. Okay?
Right?
Like I had people in the business world were hateful to their employees, treated them like crap, and then they watched him commit a crime. He stole from the government. And do you think they held their tongue? Oh, heck no. Okay. I'm going to tell you, you know, and I don't know why every time you see this and there's a male predator school teacher doing the exact same thing and they go to court, the majority of it, the men get longer sentences than the women.
I agree with that.
Do you really?
Yeah. If a male tries with a younger, there's no way they can stop it. They are really destroying them. They're taking away everything.
Yeah.
If a woman does it, she's not beating the shit out of him. She's not choking him.
Well, we're not talking about forcible something. We're just talking, you know,
But we are.
can't give consent. All right, we know that. But in the same token, they're saying, well, if you're a juvenile, you can decide that you want to, you know, do gender whatever. You want to chop and whack and sew and change your gender and all this stuff and take medication and all that stuff. But you're not old enough to consent to having sex when you're underage.
Yeah.
But people are saying their kids should be able to consent to changing their gender or whatever they're going to do. It doesn't. No. The world has gone crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The world is mad, insane. When you can say, oh, that's bad, but oh yeah, you can do this and change your whole, you know, whatever. I don't get it. Let them make the decision when they turn of legal age. And then let them deal with it.
I also believe that any transgender who was born a male should be treated as a male for any crime they commit.
I agree.
Any man or transgender woman who hits on and beats the shit out of somebody, male or female, should be treated the same as a male.
Seduction and blackmail is the MO of female predators. Oh, wow.
They never tried to blackmail me.
I don't know what they're going to get out of a 14-year-old boy.
Right?
Knew a kid with great sports prospects, screwed. Thank you, Jamie, for being right to the point. Screwed a teacher and scholarship dropped to community college level. And when he was a minor. Wow. Parents pushing.
I totally agree, Jennifer.
Yeah, you're right. And you're right. You can't change your DNA. You're either XY or XX, and that's it. Now,
my DNA just says batshit crazy.
okay, here's what they're saying. If you're talking DNA, yes, male and female. I get that. But when they ask people to, what is a woman? Now, if you say, what is a female? Okay, and that is this because of the chromosomes. That's a female. But in the crazy world, or the world, they're trying to say, but to be a woman, that comes with the feeling and not the genetics.
Bullshit.
So being saying I'm a trans woman, meaning a guy who wants to be, he can call himself a woman because he feels that way. Now, here's the thing. When you're going for a job interview, okay, and you're trying to find whatever, all right, there are certain things, certain whatever. I can't have somebody, you know, when you're trying to force upon other people your delusion, and there are certain jobs out in the world that are really male dominant. Okay. We're not talking truck drivers. Anybody can drive a truck and learn how to drive a truck. I got that. You don't have to be a male or a female to be a carpenter. I got that. To run on a masonry crew, I got that. So you can do anything. But if you go to jail, you can't say, well, I'm a woman. And now judges are sentencing people that are actually males, fully intact, but I identify as a female, into a female prison. That I don't believe in. If you're male, you're going to a male prison. Okay. You know, it's kind of like that joke people say. So if LeBron James identified as a woman, could he go and play in the WNBA and score 4,000 points a game? You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
I know.
And now you've got Brittany Griner. They leaked her photos of her growing up. She's an actual guy. Okay. She's playing in the WNBA. Now, I don't know what her genetic buildup is. I don't know if she, when she was young, did she take medicine to go through this transformation? I don't know. I don't know if she was born with both sets of, you know, there are people hermaphrodites. I don't know all this stuff, but I do believe that if you're going to go in there and if there's any question, why not submit to a DNA and say, hey, are you XX or are you XY? And if you are, then make a judgment on it. But you can see the aggressiveness that she displays. And I'm going to say she, because, you know, her aggressiveness she shows on the court and all that stuff. And watch the new videos. Just type in her name and you'll see the videos on the pool and everything. She's a dude. But I'll let the WNBA decide that. I know that there are still schools and stuff like that are fighting the president and the government on that. And I guess they didn't need the federal funding after all. So
No,
Live
because
and
they
learn.
tax the heck out of us.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll be getting funded, just not from the federal until it's put back in place.
Yeah.
George
Yep.
Soros will be sending them checks every week.
Sure.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
My
Anyway,
question
she
is,
should have
how
been
did
left
he
in
I
jail.
want to tell you something. I didn't think about this when I was raising my boys. I didn't think about stuff like that. But I'm going to tell you something. Nowadays, I don't know if I would make a good parent. Would I be more controlling now than I was back in the 80s?
Islander.
Is there more nutsos out there nowadays than there was in the 80s
Yeah.
or the 70s or the 60s when I grew up?
Exactly. Yeah.
Are there a bunch of nut jobs out there that you can't even? I mean, look, I was a kid. I was 8 years old. I would walk from my house 5.5, almost 6 miles across town by myself with my towel over my shoulder, going to the swimming pool over at Rendezvous Park. Okay. I would go over there and go swimming and meet all my buddies and all that stuff from school. 8 years old, crossing Broadway Street, a main artery in Mesa, Arizona, Main Street, a main artery, and then downtown and go all the way over there to the pool. And nobody thought anything about it.
Right.
Or when they opened up Powell Junior High School, I would walk all the way down there to go swimming at Powell because it was like, a mile shorter than Rendezvous Park. But if my buddies were over there, that's where we'd go. I walked to school every day, Lincoln Elementary School. I would walk there. It's 2 miles away, 2.5 miles away. I would walk. There was places there were no sidewalks over the railroad tracks, all the way over there. And you didn't see a crossing guard until you were like 2 blocks from the street. And I did this every single day for 6 years, and nobody said anything. Nobody was scared to death that something would happen to and you'd see them, lines of kids like ants going to school. But nowadays, that's child abuse if you're not dropping off your kid, if they have to walk a certain distance, or whatever.
Well, it's not safe to let them go now.
Yeah.
I miss the days when you could literally leave your front or back door open.
Yes.
Yeah.
In a small town, we did not lock our doors.
No.
My mom got a phone call. My sister would sleepwalk. And the neighbor across the street called my mom and said, "Your daughter is in our basement."
Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I had a bicycle when I went to junior high, and I would come up on a car when there was a light on a country club.
Hey, Joey.
I would stop right there, and if there was like a truck, I'm on my bike, and I would hold on to the truck bed and ride my bike with one hand alongside the truck.
Wow.
I would try to get into that sweet spot for the rear view mirror because they only had those little round ones. I would get in that sweet spot and I'd ride my bike if I could. If there was something there, I'd hitch a ride. It's crazy. Or I had a skateboard and I would hunch down behind a truck and grab onto the bumper and ride it, hit a stone and wipe out. I mean, it was crazy. I get it, but now we coddle these children to the point where they, and I get it. Parents are scared.
Yeah.
The world is a bunch of nut jobs.
Yeah.
You're talking about grabbing hold of a lorry when you were a kid. I had an old man doing that when I was doing my driving test. He went over the hedge.
First time I seen a transfer. I was hunting near. Oh, is that down in Trinidad? Trinidad was known as sex change capital. There was a surgeon down there that started off as a veterinarian.
Oh, that's terrifying.
He had a medical degree, but
Gosh.
he was later in life. He went and became a veterinarian, and then he
Look
opened
at what
up a
Trinidad.
place there. It's in Trinidad. You can search for that under Trinidad. They did a big 60 Minutes thing on this guy, and he did a lot of people.
That's
He
just
does
insanity to me.
custom work, if you will.
Isn't that where a lot of the
One thing
hermaphrodites
and turning it into another thing.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, but wasn't that where a lot of the hermaphrodites were?
Well, no. If you've ever been to Trinidad, it's just an old Colorado cattle and country town. I mean, it's grown up. It's kind of large, but there's a 60-minute. If you watch that 60-minute thing on the sex capital, Trinidad, Colorado, yeah,
That'd make me sick.
You're out of place, number one, and they show them walking on the streets and going shopping and just with the people that live there, everybody has accepted it. This is what happens here. This brings money into the community, yada, yada, yada. But yeah, it's kind of crazy.
My battery on my iPad's going to die. Let me. Oh, I can't switch. I won't be able to go live on Wednesday because it's my mother's birthday.
Okay.
And the family has taken her to eat. So I might go live like late in the night. But that's just how things are going. I don't know what's going on with my family. There's two parts to my family, my adopted and my biological. So there's a lot going on right now. So I definitely won't be going live at 7 on Wednesday.
Okay. So did you hear about this? We watched YouTube. Was about Oklahoma has a new law for farm stands, meaning vegetable stands and stuff like that, is in effect starting November 1st.
What?
Yeah, I didn't know about that.
Ooh.
I'll have to look that up.
I will have to step down because that battery's about to die, and I'll jump back into the stream. I'm sorry.
Right. We will talk to you later. Thanks for coming up.
Thanks for having me.
As always.
Stay safe, Wendy.
Thank you.
Bye.
I want you to do me a favor, Big Mike.
Yeah.
Tell Terry not to throw the parcels out when they start arriving.
Why? Who's sending
Well,
us?
I'm gonna need something for me brownies when they get there.
Oh. Oh Lord.
The minute I can't bring all my medication over there if I go over.
OSU, that's Oklahoma State University, has a class for $35 to teach you about the new law and how to do labels and what is legal and what's not legal. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, if you look into that in Monday, we can talk about that if you want, if you have any more information on it. I know that they were trying to stop, at one time, they were trying to stop you from getting a hold of medications because I know when we lived in Missouri, I used to go to the MFA, and I could get the dogs' rabies shots, their parvo shots, and all this, and just give them myself to my dog. But somehow somebody was talking about they had a thing out to stop all that, and you have to take it to a vet. Well, if you have a bunch of chickens and you're going to take a whole batch of chicks to a vet so they can do it, that's just asinine.
Yeah.
And I know that Chrissy over at Paragon Ridge Ranch, she was hearing about that. Then she found out that the state or whatever had a class, and she went in there and got certified because she needed to be, because she was starting her chicken business to hatching rare breeds and shipping the eggs all over the world and all that kind of stuff, or whatever she does. But I know she had to take a class on all that. So, but anyway, hey, it is 10 o'clock. We've been on here an hour and a half. We always have a good time. We still got 28 people in here. We still have Paul. And if you can't get enough of Paul, you guys need to come back on Monday. We will be heading to Tennessee on Thursday. We will have a Wednesday show. And Terry and I will do Sergeant's Talk TV on Tuesday. Monday, I got live on Morning Talk, and Tuesday was Sergeant's Talk TV. And then Wednesday, we have Empty Homestead. And then we leave the next day to go to Tennessee for Freedom Weekend at the Ridge at Tim Roberts' house, and along with all the invited guests for Freedom Weekend. Hopefully we can get some kind of filming and get some information out what's going on. We don't really do a lot of filming at these things. I might wake up in the morning and say, hey, this is what happened or whatever. And I've done that in the past, but really no on videos to give everybody what everybody's said and does. And, it's not like somebody puts a camera in a corner and just runs a live, because it is a private event, and we have a fun time. So anyway, this year it's at Tim's. Last year was at 3 Mississippi. So guys, hope you guys enjoyed the show. I'm glad you guys could come in. Remember, be kind to one another, help somebody in need, and always thank a vet. And Paul, do you have closing life experience or wisdom to share?
Yeah, when I come up on screen and all you can see is this, it's because your mic's off.
And here's the good thing. You can't cut that out like you can a video.
Exactly.
We're going to go, what the heck is he doing?
There was half a dozen of us told you in comments.
People's lip reading abilities.
No, you weren't, you lying big toad.
I forgot to hit the mute button and turn it back on.
Anyway, exactly. Stay safe, man.
All right, guys.
Stay safe, Terry.
Remember, we love you. God bless you. We'll see you on the next video, which will be coming out later today on Empty Homestead. So get ready for that.
We tolerate you, but we love Terry.
Yes. I'm good with the toleration. I'm good.
Be safe,
all right, brother. Have a great time. See ya. Everybody have a great weekend.